So, I'm Aaron, and I have watched entirely too much Star Trek.
And I'm Clara, and I have watched absolutely none.
And these are the voyages of the Friendship
Enterprise. I didn't realize that we were going to say it at the same time.
It's all right. We'll get it fixed by the time we get to like the next generation. So.
Yeah, by the time we get to the next generation, I'll have figured out the intro.
We're on episode 76.
I was going to say, isn't that going to be a lot of episodes in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got the original series and a handful of movies before we even get to the next gen. So,
Aaron's educating me.
I mean, yeah, I guess this has been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
When we started thinking about what we were going to do after we finished up Songs and Tales, our Lord of the Rings podcast.
If you haven't listened to Songs and Tales, our Lord of the Rings podcast, and you're interested in Lord of the Rings, listen to it.
Yeah.
If not, just keep listening to this.
Right.
We don't assume that Star Trek and Lord of the Rings have complete crossover in their fan base.
I feel like the Venn diagram is pretty substantial.
Yeah, it's a pretty fat center set Venn diagram.
For sure.
But yeah, we conceived of this because, as we said, I have never watched any Star Trek. It's something that I think generally my proclivities kind of indicate I should have or would have watched it at some point, but it's just not something that I've ever sat down and devoted any time to. I've watched the J.J. Abrams movies. Mm-hmm. We've discussed these before. The first one's entertaining. The middle one's really, really, really bad. And the last one's pretty good and pretty fun.
Yeah.
Especially as a person who's never watched anything Star Trek, I'm not offended by them because why would I be? I have no frame of reference.
That's true. I think I once described the first film to you as fun, but a betrayal.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about the J.J. Abrams movies for the most part.
Yeah, and like I don't see him as a betrayal because I have nothing.
You have no frame of reference.
I have no frame of reference, and that's fine. Yeah. I also have some Star Trek exposure via Futurama.
The Futurama episode where they guest stars.
Yes. And just generally LeVar Burton being a figure in my life throughout my childhood.
In Community.
And in Community through my adulthood. Being in the zeitgeist and knowing him being in Star Trek with, the thing on his eyes.
The visor.
Was, for some reason, in my realm of knowledge as a child. That's about all I got. I had an aunt who watched a lot of Star Trek.
Really?
Shout out Aunt Regina.
Should we have her on? Should she be guest on the pod?
She probably wouldn't know what to do with herself if we asked her to be on a podcast about Star Trek. But I know she watched a lot of Star Trek. So that's all I've got. That's my exposure. That's my experience with Star Trek. It's very limited, but I'm very curious about it. And I sort of put the early episodes in my mind in the same box as like early Doctor Who as far as expectations goes.
They have a little bit of higher budget, but not much. They're fun. They're like very 60s. I don't know. I like them. They're a little campy.
I like a little camp.
For sure. Like Doctor Who, there's like a decent amount of homoeroticism present in
Wonderful.
a number of the episodes.
I can't wait.
If you can handle early Doctor Who, you can 100% handle original series Star Trek. But.
How did you come to Star Trek? What was your origin story?
Well, it used to be on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Sure.
On Saturday
mornings. SYFY.
Yeah, SYFY. It used to be that in Mystery Science Theater on Saturday mornings. Okay. So I would just cruise through those when I was 9 or 10.
I was going to ask, how old were you?
Like 9 or 10, probably.
Okay. Because you didn't have cable television.
That was right when we got cable. Okay. Because we moved to the house my parents live in now. Okay. And we got cable. Along with air conditioning. It was really a banner year for me. I didn't
have cable television until I think I was 13 or 14. And then I watched a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I jumped right over Star Trek to Nickelodeon. But, okay, so you had 9 or 10. You were watching.
Seen it I'd seen episodes of Deep Space Nine and Voyager on TV when it aired as a kid, but I never watched it regularly. It was just something that was on because we didn't have cable. Mm-hmm, so exactly. It was on the network. stations, so like sometimes we catch it on there. But yeah, I didn't really get into it until then. And then once I saw the the original series movies and Next Gen, and that's when I really got hooked.
Okay,
for sure. And yeah, been addicted ever since. The whole original series movies are still my comfort movies.
Comfort movies.
Yeah, I've watched them way too many times.
So when you were watching it on Saturday mornings, you were just watching random episodes at a time.
Yeah, it was not in any kind of, unless it was like a 2-parter.
Okay.
Usually they would show. But right, yeah, I only ever saw it out of order at first.
Okay.
And I don't know if I've ever watched the original series in order.
I was going to ask, that was the original series that you were watching? Yeah. Okay. Because I know that, so there's the original series, there's Next Generation, what follows that?
Okay, so it's original series, there's also the animated series, which we will probably not watch.
Okay.
That was like in the 70s, between the movies.
Great.
And then, Next Gen.
Okay.
Then there's Deep Space Nine.
And Next Gen is LeVar Burton.
Yeah, that's LeVar Burton and Patrick Stewart, yeah.
Sure, okay.
Then there's Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
Which is the one where they're on the space station.
That means nothing to me, but great. We'll get there.
Actually my favorite, but we'll get there. And then there's Voyager, which is with Captain Janeway.
Okay.
Yeah. Kate Mulgrew is the captain.
Okay.
And that's the one where they're like lost in the Delta Quadrant.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
It's not one of my favorites. It's like some of it I really like, some of it.
And there's after Voyager, there's like more now.
Right, there was Enterprise, which came immediately after Voyager, and that was the one that was a prequel.
Okay.
And then, there's Discovery was the next one, which I've seen. I actually have not seen all of it. I watched bits and pieces of it, and it didn't hook me.
Okay.
And then there's Strange New Worlds, which I've enjoyed, but not my favorite. I think I'm like a curmudgeon about it. I want my 90s Star Trek back.
And then there's a new animated series too, as well. Lower Decks, not Below Decks, which is a reality TV show, and I do get them confused. Not in terms of but I just think I get the titles. But Lower Decks is supposed to be kind of fun.
It's actually I think it's the best of the new.
You have watched it?
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
it's surprisingly canonically aware. It's pretty good. I enjoy it, but yeah, I want my 90s Trek back, even though that's totally unrealistic because they're never going to make 22 episode seasons again.
I mean, I want a lot of 90s TV back, but let's face it, we can't go back to the West Wing, so we just live here.
Can you imagine watching, what would the new West Wing even look like in our current environment?
Can't even fathom. No. Can't even fathom. Gone is the TV president. Truly. And that's fine. We've moved on. We've moved past it. Here we are with our later generation Star Treks and our no more TV presidents.
I mean, when we get to the later Treks, I have theories about why 90s Trek is no longer
We all long for the 90s.
Yeah. But that's for a later episode. My big brain theory.
What were when you initially started watching Star Trek as a young boy of 9 years old?
Yes.
Was it truly because it was okay, this is on? Or was it, this is on, but I'm also interested in this, and why were you so interested in Star Trek as a 9-year-old? Especially for a show that had come out in the 60s and was probably feeling a little dated to a 9-year-old. Now, as adults, we would probably say, "Oh, this feels kind of groovy and fun." Yes. But go ahead.
Go off, King.
Yeah, go off, King.
I don't know. I mean, I think it started out as it was just on before Mystery Science Theater, so I happened to catch it or something. But my dad had grown up watching it, so sometimes he'd watch it with me.
Okay,
so that was part of it, I think. But also, it's just fun. It's it just didn't look like anything else that was on TV.
Yeah,
I guess.
And it was something you could watch. Obviously, it wasn't, above your over your head, or outside of what would have been probably deemed appropriate for you to watch at the time. Though I don't know, maybe your parents were whatever, Aaron, do what you want kind of parents, which I've met them and they don't strike me as those types of parents. But who knows?
I just really liked the Green Alien Babe episode. Do you not even have that culture reference?
Nope.
Okay, wow. Man, these jokes are not going to land.
They're not going to land for a long time.
Really get to these episodes. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's like it was just colorful, weird, different. That was on. Like I mean, I also watched the original Battlestar Galactica, which is honestly atrocious. So the part of it is I would watch anything with space stuff.
Sure.
Usually, but I don't know. It was just fun.
That's okay.
And it was like kind of smart. Like it's goofy, but it's also like there's like it's trying to ask deeper questions a lot of the time. Sometimes it's just goofy, but
it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Great. Yeah.
And it was better than Lost in Space, which was on before it.
Danger Will Robinson. I do know that one. And yeah, the original Lost in Space is
quite bad. Yeah, it did not hold up when I was 10, so I can only imagine.
It probably doesn't hold up anymore.
But the movie's great.
And I have kind of a mental image of the robot.
Yes.
Sort of floating around, and I can't quite piece it together, but like I know it's bad, right? It's one of those things like you've seen, you know it's terrible. It's like tin cans. It's just like Tin Can Man.
Yeah, he has robot. Like a big like glass dome thing. Yeah. It's like a lame version of the Forbidden Planet.
They remade it for Netflix a few years ago, Lost in Space. Yeah, with
who's in it?
Toby Stevens, Maggie Smith's son.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And that girl who was in that cannibal movie with Timothée Chalamet a few years ago. Taylor or something or other.
Oh. I didn't see that movie.
It's entertaining. There's a lot of bad aliens, good aliens. It's fun. But...
Well, then you're ready for Star Trek. There's bad aliens, there's good aliens.
I'm very ready. I'm very excited. Don't misinterpret my...
No, I'm not.
Not understanding anything about Star Trek. Not knowing anything about Star Trek is a lack of enthusiasm for Star Trek because I think I'll like it a lot. I just don't know jack shit about it.
Yeah.
Other than...
It'll be fun.
Like, I can tell you who was in it.
Sure.
But... that's about all I got.
Yeah, I will say I think the original series cast is like one of the best ensemble casts on television.
They were great in those Futurama episodes.
That's right. Oh man, I can't wait because it's been a long time since I've actually watched the original series episodes. Like with any the Next Gen, I've seen a million times. But I'm looking forward to revisiting the original series because it's been a while.
Yeah. I was not watching Star Trek as a child, but I did not have cable television, so.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever rerun on.
And my parents didn't watch a lot of network TV. Like we weren't not saying you were a TV family, but we didn't. I don't remember my parents ever really watching a lot of television, so it wasn't like they were sitting down and watching it as it was being broadcast in the 90s,
right? Yeah, I don't have dim memories of occasional episodes.
There was nothing really in my household that was kind of
well, you would have been late anyway,
beaming it into my brain.
I'm a bit older than you, so and I only barely just caught some of the 90s Trek on TV when it aired.
Yeah, so I would have been a kid, a real kid watching 90s Star Trek. But again, still understanding at 8 years old that LeVar Burton was in Star Trek. I did know that. However,
you probably saw that Reading Rainbow episode where they go on the set.
Maybe. Truly, I don't really know how that was in my brain so firmly as a child, but I knew that he was in Star Trek, and I knew he wore that visor across his eyes.
Do you know why he wears the visor?
Nope, I'm going to find out.
Okay, you know that's crazy. Okay, this will be fun.
I'm glad my ignorance is so.
No, I mean, I thought you I was worried you would have enough of a thing to be not
No, I haven't even looked anything up. I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. I want to learn. I want to enjoy. I'm a sponge, baby. I'm a Star Trek sponge. But a brand.
This is your master class of Star Trek.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start charging you whatever.
This is Tuesdays with Maury, but it's Star Trek with Aaron.
All right. I'm down for that.
You okay with that vibe?
Yeah, I'm good with that vibe, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Okay.
I was just watching Red, Green, and whatever else they were putting out on PBS at the time.
This Old House?
Yep. A lot of Arthur. In the 90s, absolutely I was watching Arthur. I was not watching Star Trek. And then in the 2000s, I wasn't, interested.
Well, there wasn't much. I mean, Enterprise ended in 2004, I think, so.
Yeah.
And then there was, no Star Trek on TV for over 10 years.
Yeah, so it's not surprising that I missed it.
Yeah.
Because in 2004, I would have been 12 or 13.
Right.
You know, I was kind of aging into it as it was phasing out.
Right.
And I do get that one.
And even the movies, like the gap between the J.J. Abrams and the last of the other movies, it's like 9 years, or no, 7 years.
It was a big gap.
Big enough.
So, yeah. Here we are.
Fun.
I'm ready to learn.
Yeah. I don't know. We're just kind of fun.
That's, about all we ever do.
About Star Trek. We'll talk about Star Trek. We'll talk about the episodes and what's going on with them. Sometimes how goofy they are. Other times maybe like what we like about the stories.
Yeah.
I don't know. What fun.
It's going to be a journey.
Aaron's going
to teach me a lot. Yeah. Get Aunt Regina up in the mix. Hey, Regina, you want to come to Cleveland to our Florida podcast episode about Star Trek?
Yeah, but if there's things you want us to do, talk about, please do send in questions as we go through the series, especially if you're someone who knows a lot about Star Trek. Throw some questions over.
Oh, yeah.
But try to limit spoilers.
Yeah, don't spoil anything
ahead.
for me.
Yeah, don't jump ahead.
I am really excited, honestly. I'm excited to have some, fresh new TV. I'm one of those people who, there are many, this is not like, I'm one of those people, I'm so unique. I am a person who will just rewatch the same 7 television shows over and over and over and over because, we all have anxiety. It's 2024. And also, if I watch, a new TV show and it gets me too amped up before bed, I can't sleep. So,
sure.
I'm really excited to have some new TV that's not super intense and fits right into just kind of my niche of comfortable things to watch.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions to it for sure.
Aaron's gonna come over and watch me watch the episodes just to see me in real time gasping and laughing and just enjoying entertainment.
All the things you're going to meet. The Tribbles, the Gorn, the Klingons, the Romulans.
Great. I can't wait.
You meet all these things and more. We'll probably also never finish because there's just an insane quantity of material.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be 78 years old before we're done with this, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Content, baby. Keep it coming. We are living in the era of content,
that's
so...
Right. And we're not even monetizing this. We're just doing this for the love of the game.
Yeah, we're not making you pay for this.
No.
No one's paying us either.
What on earth would our Patreon be in the first place?
I don't know.
Listen to us complain about things for 15 minutes.
Yeah, our bonus content is just you listening to us grumble about our aches and pains and our problems with our jobs and our houses and the meals that we've eaten. I don't know, we eat pretty well, so I would say we just read our texts aloud. Theories about who shot the CEO of United Healthcare.
True. Yeah, it could be any.
People might actually pay for that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you do want to pay for that content, let us know.
Basically, if you don't have parents to talk to and you want to hear conversations that your parents would have,
yeah, it's
about food and
yeah. I bought a really nice pair of socks.
That's $5 a month gets you that.
I got some Carhartts.
Yeah. That's right. When they arrived.
They arrived today, so can't wait. Maybe next time we record, I'll be wearing Carhartts. But yeah, our Patreon would be nothing.
It would be worth it. So, in any event, we're doing this for the love of the game and for the love of all of you, however many of you there are. Hopefully there'll be a number.
Hopefully number you.
Yeah.
There's gotta be more people who watch Star Trek than have read and want to analyze Lord of the Rings. There's gotta be.
Yeah, I would hope so.
But we're excited. I'm excited. As I said, looking forward to just watching some TV.
Mm-hmm.
And chatting about it with my friend.
It'll be fun. Yeah, I think every time we end an episode, this is my pitch.
This is okay.
It's a live pitch.
Ooh, I can't wait. Okay.
We have to say beam me up.
That's the end? The end. Beam me up.
Yeah, and then we'll put the beam up. I'll put the beam up sound.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Who's gonna say it at the same time? Maybe
Yeah.
we fucked that up last time.
Oh no! Now this episode's explicit.
Good. I already said shit.
It's true, you did.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry for all the children
right.
who wanted to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, all those 10-year-olds who are just getting into Star Trek.
That's right. Just like me.
Just like wide-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Bushy-tailed.
Yeah.
It's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but...
I know.
Anyway.
Yeah. Shall we return to the ship?
Beam me up.
Beam me up.